Good morning. It is Monday morning. It is about maybe 6:45, no, 6:10, something like that. Um, so far this weekend, I had a pretty good weekend. Yesterday, I was still feeling kind of like sore, like tenderness in, we're in the surgery area of my breast. But other than that, dealt with it with Tylenol. Um, Today woke up a little tired, but I'm ready to conquer week number 2 on radiation. So I'm already ready to go. In a few, I'll be leaving to the hospital and continue on my radiation treatment and let you guys know how I'm feeling afterwards. It's gonna be the same old, but the purpose of this is not just to me sharing um, my story. It's just to give everybody that positivity out there that, we might be going through a lot of physical challenges, health wise, but we gotta keep pushing it. We gotta keep staying positive and get through the moments. Alrighty, so I'll give you guys a check-in, a check-back, or whatever you want to call it. And I'll let you guys know how I'm feeling afterwards. Alrighty, so I will check back in a little while. Okay, so stay tuned. I am back now. Oh my God. Honestly, this appointment took a whole lot longer than expected because I got there at 7:30, and the technician, the one that normally calls me in, he came to me and to my other patient, the other patient, I and told us that their system was down. So they're waiting. For some reason, the server was not connecting with the computers and the radiation machine. So it took for them to fix the issue about an hour and 30 minutes. I was called in about 9 o'clock. So he called me in, changed my clothes. Then I went in and actually he came in and picked me up, and then he escorted me into the area. And then of course the usual verification, who I am, what's my birthday, and all that good stuff. And then he was very funny though. He's a funny character. He had me like, giggling and all that stuff. He was like, oh, what's the music you listen to again? I'm like, you know what, play whatever you want to play. I'm not, I said, I'm not any particular mood for music. I just like, play what you want. He's like, well, I'm going to play, this American's music that I like. And I was like, okay, do you? So next thing you know, he's putting on all this freestyle music. He's like, I don't know if you're familiar with this stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm from the 80s. Come on. I grew up on this stuff. So he's playing all these old retro, like Cynthia and TKA and all that. So he started becoming very chatty with me. I'm like, okay. But it was a good time. It was a good time. And so he set me up. They were trying to position me on the way that, they needed to get the radiation in my system. So once I was positioned, I was put into the machine. It took about 10 minutes. 10 minutes exactly. And then once the 10 minutes are up, then he pulled me out of the machine. And then he started chatting away with me. I'm like, what? And he was like, I'm from Brooklyn, and this is the stuff I grew up on. I'm like, he goes, you ever heard of the stuff? I'm from Coney Island. I'm like, okay. I was like, hey, listen, I was born in Brooklyn, which, yeah, I was born in Brooklyn. And then he was like asking me, well, where were you the last time in Brooklyn? I was like, well, this weekend. I was with family listening to freestyle music. Anyway, he was very friendly. He's very friendly. He's very cute. Anyway, so so far so good. I I not feeling any particular way in my body except itchiness. I do have a lot of itchiness going on my side where the marks are. So another date with Aquaphor today. But other than that, I'm not feeling fatigued. I am a little sleepy because after all, I did get up early in the morning. But aside of that, everything, went well. So I will definitely give you guys a check-in tomorrow morning, and see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. It is freezing. Fall has finally kicked in New York City. I'm already wearing my hoodie, and I gotta bundle up because the temps here in New York City is already 46 degrees, and it hasn't been like that since the spring. Since the spring. So it's cold. It's like a shock to the system for me. It's gonna take some time before I get used to it again. Anyway, so feeling sleepy. I feel slight weirdness in my body. Anybody that have autoimmune condition knows that feeling you get in your body when you're about to have a flare up. I'm feeling that. It's just like a weird, like a pain sensation going through my body. And I know it has nothing to do with my autoimmune condition. It has to do more with the radiation, how it's affecting me physically. So it just has that same feeling, it just feels very off, very little pain. I'm going through a little pain too. But ready to get through the day. I have 2 appointments today. I have, of course, the therapy treatment, and also I have to see the radiation doctor. I see it's a little early for me. Radiation doctor. She has to do once a week check on me just to see how I'm doing physically, and yeah, it shouldn't take too long. So hopefully, get through my morning without delays, because yesterday it was a little nutty. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll give you guys a check-in later and let you guys know how everything went. Alrighty, so I'll see you in a little bit. I am back. I'm a little winded. I just literally walked in through the door. It is freaking cold out there. I'm just like, I'm not ready for this. I could deal with the spring type weather, like nice and warm, but today seems a little colder. But it is what it is. It's that time of year. Anyway, so everything went well. Check in. As soon as I got there, the technician was coming in to work, and he sees my face. He's like, you know what? As soon as you get your band, just go change. I was like, fine. And then they took the one patient ahead of me because she got there earlier than I did. So they took her in, and as soon as she was done, they called me in, and of course the badgering goes back and forth between me and the technician, because the fact that he thinks I don't know my music. So he comes in. He had like this violinist. Oh God, I'm not doing well. You can see I'm not doing well. This musician that she plays violin, and she she's very well known in the music community as well as the metal community. So so he's like, oh, this person who's playing the music, and I was like, yeah, I know, it's Lindsay Sterling. I believe me, I get around with music. And he's like, oh, okay. It's an ongoing battle. I started to get sassy with him because he's just like, you know what, now you're pushing your buttons. But listen, I gotta have fun. I'm a goofball. I can't be like, I'm not that type of person. People are friendly with me. I fairly back. I get silly, I get sassy. That's who I am, the real me. So, the bantering went back and forth. And then he set me up. He had to change the taping. He has to change one of them because he changed one of them, but he didn't change the other. So I have to tell him tomorrow. I'm like, listen, you need to change the other one too, because it's coming off. I don't want, issues. So it took 10 minutes, 10 minutes out of my life. It was done. And then I had to see the doctor. So I go to the nurse's station and tell them, listen, I have my appointment. They set up the room for me. And then the nurse comes, the male nurse comes, and he's asking me questions, how I'm feeling. And so I explained, like the way I explained to you guys this morning, that regarding about the cramping feeling I had in my body and the slight pain. And so he noted everything down, even the itchiness. So he noted everything down. He paged the doctor. The doctor, she came in like maybe about 10 minutes after the nurse. And then the doctor came. She checked me out. She was just like asking me how I'm doing. So I said, I'm doing okay. Not terrible, just okay. And I explained to her, I was like, I've been feeling today is like crampish, like if you're getting your period. And I told her, listen, I don't have a uterus, and which is true. I don't have a uterus, but I do remember what it is to have, a period when you get those monthly cramps. And I told her I was feeling like pain on my breast area and itchiness on the side. And so she says, you know what, that's what you're experiencing is normal, because with the radiation, it's triggering, the inflammation in your body. So, that's unfortunately that's part of the process you're going through, which is completely normal. The pain, the pain you're feeling, it's also normal. She goes, because I said to her, you know what, I've been taking Tylenol, I take Tylenol. And she goes, you know what, why don't you start taking Motrin? Because just to help better with the pain. And I said, well, the only thing I don't like taking Motrin during the day, and which is true, I experience sleepiness. Like it hits me like a ton of bricks. Like I drink Motrin and I'm already in bed and I have to like sleep, take a nap. So I don't want to do that. I'm trying to get my body getting back to normal of sleeping a normal time. So I don't want to just because I'm feeling pain. I try to deal with it as much as I can. I take Tylenol and let it, work on me for a little while, and then deal with it later on tonight. Then I'll pop in a Motrin and sleep it off. But so she says that's, what I'm experiencing is very normal. And when I explained to her about the itchiness on the side, she was like, okay. And I'm like, well, I've been putting on the Aquaphor, which, it is helping. She goes, make sure you do it twice a day. She goes, are you blistering? I'm like, no, I'm not blistering. I'm just, I'm letting you know I'm feeling the slight itching is coming through. And so she was like, okay. She's like, but so far, she goes, are you feeling fatigue? I was like, no, not really. I mean, like in the mornings I'm sleepy because, hey, who's going to be bright-eyed, bushy-tail at 4:45 in the morning? Because I know a lot of you are not. So I'm no exception, So, the fatigue, I haven't gotten like severe fatigue from this as of yet. I mean, it could still change as the days go by. And then she asked me how my mobility with my arm. I'm like, I'm fine. Fine. Moving around. So far so good. So, the appointment went well. Now I have to focus on tomorrow, another day. Ooh, I'm being sassy today. And I'm entitled to. I'm entitled to be sassy at least once a week. Cause come on, who wants to be like all like? I'm sorry, I can't be miserable with a chip on my shoulder. That's not me. That's definitely not me. Anyway, so that's my check-in for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is Wednesday. Oh my God, is it? Oh, it feels like it's such a long week, and I know it hasn't been that long, but it's just, my mind is just all over the place, and I'm still feeling very tired. It's already 10 to 7. I'm about to get ready to head out. Yeah, another day, another radiation. Wow. I'm in a good mood. Just tired because I barely slept. Like, I slept maybe 3 hours, and then I was up for another 3 hours, and then I fell asleep for an hour, and then here I am. I woke up, and if you can hear my voice, I sound very raspy. It's to be expected. But other than that, physically, I'm feeling a slight little pain going on my breast area. But other than that, the inflammation feeling that I had yesterday, I still have it, but it's not as intense. So I had taken a Motrin last night before I went to bed, so it did help. And so we'll see what happens today. Gonna head in a little bit, and I'll give you guys a check back and let you know how that went. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I will get back to you in a little while. Okay. I am back. I am definitely out of this. I am just not with it today. I guess with the lack of sleep, nothing is functioning well for me physically. I'm all over the place today. It's probably the new moon. The new full moon. It just has me all whacked out. So yeah, got to the place. I checked in, chatted with everybody. I don't like starting my morning all depressed and angry and bitter. That's not the way to start any morning. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those. I'm not like, oh, I hate my life. I don't do that. I hate that. When you do that, it's like bringing negativity to yourself. And so I'd rather be very polite and very, hey, how you doing? Good morning, or have a little light chat, or, say something funny. Because you know what? Life is too short. Life is too damn short to be bitter and miserable. Because when you be bitter and miserable, that's when all this negativity goes onto you. Anyway, I'm going to make a separate video. You're going to see. I'm going to make a separate video. I'm just thinking of the topic I'm going to talk about. But, Anyway, so everything went well. Got called in, changed my clothes. And then I got called into the radiation area. And did my 10 minutes there. Everything went smooth. No hiccups, no computer issues, nada. I'm just physically very sleepy. And that's because it's the lack of sleep I had last night. So, I'm going to wind up doing is eating something and pretty much maybe try to take a nap later on just to gather my energies. But, yeah. And I'm also have to pop in a Motrin. This time I'm gonna do it in the day, because earlier this morning I mentioned that I was feeling slight pain, like the physical pain. Now I'm starting to feel a little more intense now. So, like I said, I'm gonna eat something and then pop a Motrin, maybe take a nap, and then after that, do what I need to do afterwards. Yeah, so that is it for Wednesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alrighty, see you then. Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday. I'm not feeling so hot right now. I'm in a lot of pain. I might not look it because Gotta keep that war paint going. So yeah, I'm in pain. I'm in physical pain. Um, I haven't taken anything yet because first of all, I'm going to the clinic in a little bit and I don't want to fall asleep on the table. That would not be cool. So I'm just giving myself that little bit of chance of like getting the radiation done and then come back home, eat, and then pop in a Motrin. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I know this is temporary pain. I'm not like stressing and like, oh my God, this is never ever gonna end. It's nothing like that. I just need to vent out that I'm in pain, and I'm entitled to. The thing is that, like I had mentioned days before, that the pain is being triggered from the inflammation in my body. And remember, not only I'm going through radiation, I'm also have chronic illness. So, it triggers. Everything is being triggered together. So I'm just hoping I don't go into a full flare-up because that will really, really suck. I don't like that feeling because then I get to a point that I don't function too well. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to, in a few, leave and head to the hospital, get my treatment in, and come back home. Yay! Anyway, so stay tuned. I'll give you a check-in back. Ready? I am back. Yes. So everything went well on check-in. The treatment lasted a little longer today. I'm not sure why. It seems like they added more radiation in my body because instead of 10 minutes, it felt like 15 minutes because at one point I thought the machine was stopping at the 10-minute mark, and for some reason they seemed to add, like they shifted me in position automatically and they started adding more radiation, and I thought it was kind of odd because so far since last week I haven't gone through that, so I'm not sure if they added more radiation into the body. So when I got off the table, I'm still experiencing pain in my body, and I just felt like a freight train just hit me. So I just was feeling a lot of pain. So, I was just like, let me suck it up. Let's, get my day going. And then got dressed, and I decided, well, let me go, because I needed to get a couple of things at the supermarket, because I know my older son has appointments today, so I know he's going to be busy most of the day. And my youngest son, he doesn't get home till almost 4:30 from school. So I'm just like, you know what? I can barely talk. What the hell's going on? I'm on my own, so I said, let me go to the supermarket. I need to get a couple of odds and ends and a couple of meats. And number one rule, people, that when you're coming out of radiation, don't do any food shopping on your own. I swear that was like the biggest mistake in my life. I had like 3 bags, and one of the bags where the meats were much heavier than the other 2. And I struggled getting home. I literally struggled. I started experiencing the fatigue. And I was just like, oh, shit. This is not it. This is not the day. And so I was able to get like maybe, like I was in the mood for these, in Puerto Rico we call it empanadas. And in DR they call it pastelillos. So it's like, and in Jamaicans you call it beef patties. So we all have our variations of what they are. So it's like pastry with meat in it. And this time I always order with cheese. because I just like the cheese. So I ordered 2 and just to eat something quick when I get home. And so far I haven't eaten because I wanted to record this part. And put the food away. And then I told my son, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not feeling great. I made the biggest mistake going to the supermarket. And he looked at all the bags and he goes, you know, you could have waited till later and I would have gone with you. And I'm like, yeah. So anybody going through radiation, no food shopping on your own. Because if you're carrying packages and you just came out of radiation, the fatigue is going to kick your ass. Okay, so don't do it. Don't do it. So I just learned something new today. Anyway, so that is pretty much it. This is Thursday's check-in. I will see you tomorrow for Friday. Alrighty? So I'll see you mañana. Good morning. It is Friday morning. Finally Friday. I'm in a good mood. I'm physically doing better than I have the last 2 days. Yesterday was the worst of all the days physically, but today I'm feeling much better. Not 100%, but much better than the last 2 days. So I'm ready to head out the door, get the radiation down, and finally finish 2nd week of radiation treatment. So I still have 7 more days of this. 7 more days. And then it's over. I'm excited. Anyway, so now I'm gonna head out, get the radiation done, and I'll give you guys a check-in just to let you guys know how I'm feeling at the moment and how everything went. Alrighty, so I'll be back in a little. I'm finally back home. I was home about 30 minutes ago. I just was starving and I needed to eat something. So I'm nice and full. My fatigue is starting to kick in. Everything went well, the check-in and everything. I got there on time. When they called me in, we got a set up on the table. But they added a little extra longer on the radiation. It was more 15 minutes. And so I came out of there. I was feeling good. And then I went to get something to eat. Of course, I couldn't eat at the restaurant or anything, but just to pick up something and then I could eat here at home. So then in case I get really tired, which I am, I could take a quick nap. Yeah, so the fatigue finally kicked in. Thank you, radiation. Anyway, so everything went well, and I have a slight pain going on. Gonna wait a while. I'll probably pop in a Tylenol if it gets worse. So far so good. Week 2 is in the books. Like I said this morning, I got 7 more days of this. 7 more days of radiation. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it for week 2. And I will see you guys next week for the new set of vlogs. Alrighty, so have a blessed weekend. Bye.